Through the process of the oral history project, I learned a lot about my twin sister Catherine and how she perceived our childhood. Growing up as a boy-girl twin was an interesting experience that many people wouldn't understand. During the interview, my first question that I asked my sister was when she first realized she had a gender.
I guess I realized that I was a girl when I noticed our bedroom that Thomas and I shared was set up differently. There was pink on my side and dolls, and on Thomas's side there was more like blue and sports stuff. And I just had a natural affinity for um, more calm activities and um, like books. I like to play dolls. I was more nurturing. So I think it was, late toddlerhood that I noticed that.
Being a boy-girl twin, it was very hard for our parents not to stereotype us in one way or another. I was interested to see if my sister had any memories from our childhood that changed the way she perceived her own gender.
Well, our parents usually signed us up for similar camps just because it was easier for them to drop us off at the same place. But then as we got older, Thomas continued an interest for soccer camps and other sports camps, while I took up field hockey, which was an all girl sport, as well as I babysat in my spare time.
I've always been very curious and hoping to ask my sister how she thought growing up as a boy-girl twin influenced the way our parents treated us when we were younger.
I think our parents were open to any activity we were interested in, but they probably unknowingly guide us in different interests based on our genders. I think I know that by the gifts they would give us for birthdays and Christmas.
Even though our parents would try to be as fair as they could, there was always a few exceptions. I asked my sister if she remembered any times where our parents clearly treated us differently just because of our gender.
Well, I really wasn't asked to go outside when we had a snowstorm and shovel, or I didn't have to rake leaves the way my brothers did. However, they also didn't have to do some of the jobs that I was assigned, like folding laundry or helping prepare dinner. Maybe that's just because I complained more, but I got away with it and Thomas didn't.
Since my sister and I were quite different growing up, I wanted to see in what ways gender influenced her interests as a child.
I think Thomas's friend group mainly revolved around sports, and my friends and I had a better balance of interests and hobbies. I think we did a lot more activities outside where Thomas's friends watched a lot more sports on TV and played Xbox a whole lot more than I did.
Another question I decided to ask my sister was what activities she chose not to participate in when we were younger because she thought girls may have not been allowed.
Say football was the one sport that I never really considered playing because of its physicality, but also I never saw women playing football. My family watched a lot of football on TV. I was more interested in field hockey because a lot of my friends were playing it, and field hockey is an all women's sport in my town.
Before wrapping up the interview, I wanted to ask my sister what memories she has from our childhood that revolve around gender stereotypes that she now realizes are unacceptable.
I think the boys in our family had to do all the heavy lifting and the dirty work while my mom and I would prepare meals and do chores more inside the house.
After conducting this interview, I learned a lot about my twin sister's perspective on growing up as a boy girl twin. It's clear to me that Catherine felt there were many times our parents treated us much differently because of our gender. The community, our friends, and overall lifestyles at home all play a role into realizing your gender and then the next steps. I really enjoyed getting to pick my sister's brain about our past and how she felt about growing up as a twin.